The folks are okay. Everybody just didn't make it inside of the water pitcher that the Aquarian is carrying in his age. A lot of people are still in the ocean of the old age, still swimming and going with the tide of the old age, the current of the old age. That age ended in 2012. The water pitcher is only but so big. So I have this impression that not everybody was able to fit into that pitcher. However, that the person carrying that pitcher of water was only going to lead the disciples to the Last Supper. The one carrying the water pitcher didn't participate in the supper, so he'll probably be going back and forth, refilling that pitcher. So if you're close enough to shore, that the water bearer will come back and put you in his pitcher. The water bearer is constantly making rounds. Every nanosecond, the water bearer is coming back and forth from the building where the Last Supper is housed to the shore where the water is drawn, or the well, or whatever the case. Let's use the shore, though. The closer you are to shore, shore, S-H-O-R-E is S-U-R-E-2. The closer you are to shore, the closer you are to certainty, the closer you will be to the Aquarian when he comes back with the water pitcher to collect you. And from that water pitcher, you're going inside, no longer outside, no longer limited to just the elements, no longer an outsider, an insider, no longer at the bottom, no longer a place where people wash their feet. You are now being carried above head. Now you're being carried above authority. But you have to get close to shore. If you're too deep out in the ocean, if you're too deep into the old age, if you're trying to bring the old days back, you're not going to be close enough to shore, because you're not going with the tide that brings you to shore. You'll be going out into the deep where the old age dies. The deeper underwater and further from shore you go, the darker and deeper it gets. You can be made fun of by going to shore, because the shore is what is known as shallow water. So you get back to more superficial things. And what that means is you get back to more basic stuff, to more basic essentials, the essentials of life. Not so much the extra stuff, but the basics. So keep going closer to certainty. You do your knowledge. You do your meditations. Because the vibration, you can tell who's not in the picture yet. You can tell who's not close to shore yet, too. Go into the society, there are people who are so desocialized that they can't even speak, that they don't even have enough practice in the quarantine. Their language is rusty. Their social skills are rusty. They don't know how to even deal with people anymore. You say good morning, it's like they wake up out of a deep dream, out of a deep sleep. Huh? You wake them up, it almost startles them. They're not even ready to hear greetings like good morning. You know, it's like they're being electrocuted if you hold the door open for them. They're not used to it. This is good news for anybody who came out of the old age of chivalry, because chivalry is getting ready to be back in style again. We look like aliens when we have polite manners and we know how to address everybody in the room as equals. We know how to make our presence known and make everybody feel comfortable. We're looked at like magicians and sorcerers and wizards, like having some kind of extreme extraterrestrial quality about us, when it's really just common sense and it's just general home training and the acquisition of good manners and the study of etiquette and being able to deal with people and learn them, learning how people think and being able to not react, but to be able to respond. We have the response ability. We have the ability to respond. Not everybody has that either. That has to be developed. If we don't know how to respond, then we don't know how to be responsible. It shows a lack of in the ability to respond. So you have people who are probably handling certain responsibilities, but at the very core, and sometimes even being displayed on the very surface, they don't have the ability to respond to you or to respond to society at large. Because again, they're probably not close enough to shore. They're probably too far out in the deep, too far out in the reminiscence, in the flashbacks, in the longing of what they call the good old days. When you have scriptures that say to inquire about this is not wise. So wait on the water pitcher. But while you wait, get close to shore. Close to shore as possible. You don't have to be fish. You don't have to be the fish in Pisces. You don't have to consider yourself a fish, because Pisces was an interesting era anyway. We were swimming in opposite directions. It's two fish swimming in the opposite directions. So during the entire Piscean era, we was being pulled apart. Like the Christ on the cross being hung high and stretched wide, swimming in both directions. One thief is swimming one way, the other thief is swimming the other way. Duality was pulling itself apart. Now in this Aquarian age, that duality is being brought back to a singleness, being brought back to a unified field, being scooped up in the water pitcher. That water bearer, the Aquarian, is not scooping up the entire ocean, mind you. He's just filling it up one pitcher at a time, filling this pitcher up, going back, filling this pitcher up, going back. We're all either in the ocean or in the house, wherever that water is going. So for the sake of imagery, paradise and the best of your life is on the inside of the wall, out of the ocean, away from the pack, so to speak. Your unique gifts, your unique skills, your unique talents, all of these things are purposeful. And if you can become more certain in these things, you'll find yourself in a different group, in a different league, with a different audience, in a different bracket. You'll find yourself on a different level because you are at shore. And the water pitcher, the water bearer with the water pitcher has come to collect you. And you can be the water itself being close to shore. Either way, the closer you are to land as something that swims, the closer you are to being grounded in this life. No matter what our flow is, our flow should always bring us back to shore, back to groundedness, back to practical application, back to firm, solid footing. Life's a beach, but you have to be close to shore if you ever want to get off that beach, because there's more to life than the beach. The beach is just where you go. The beach is not necessarily where you live.